You've just finished chapter 5. Let's see what was covered in chapter 5. The second law of thermodynamics. You were interested in, or you were exposed to the idea of reversible and irreversible processes. We talked a good bit about cycles and cycle performance measures, whether it's a heat engine or a refrigeration cycle. And then we talked about reversible cycles, particularly the Carnot cycle. And that gives you an upper limit. That gives you a feel and a measure of the maximum performance of cycles. And now you're ready to start chapter 6. And chapter 6 says using entropy. So you've got the second law nailed down pretty well. But I want to encourage you to hold on to your hat like Queen Elizabeth is doing here, because chapter 6 possibly could be the most difficult chapter that you're going to cover in this course. So I do want to encourage you to hang in there. Keep up with the homework as it is assigned to you. That will help you progress through chapter 6. And one reason, let me try to give you a roadmap of what's going to happen in chapter 6 to give you a feel for perhaps how come I'm saying it's going to be a tough chapter. So we're going to start with the formal definition of entropy change, not just what is entropy, but what is entropy change as a result of a process. Okay. The first part we're going to talk about is phase change substances and basically looking up values of entropy. Not too bad. Then we're going to start talking about two differential equations. So remember those from your calculus class or your differential equations class. And in this course, we call them the TDS equations. And they are truly differential equations. You're not going to have to be an expert in solving differential equations, but you're going to have kind of a working understanding of how to deal with these. And the reason is that that's going to be the gateway for us to determine entropy changes of ideal gases. We're going to get in and formally talk about isentropic processes. Remember isentropic, what does that mean? Reversible and adiabatic. We're going to do a lot of talking about reversible adiabatic processes. TS diagrams are going to be used a lot in this chapter. We're going to be able to visualize certain types of processes on the TS diagram. Now, once you get through that, and that's probably at least about halfway through the chapter, we get into applications. I have found these to be extraordinarily interesting because we start dabbling in the real world. Okay, and this has to do with what we call entropy production and entropy production rates. And the general question is a process possible or impossible? In chapter 5, we looked at cycles. Is a proposed cycle possible or impossible? In chapter 6, we're going to be able to quantify if a proposed process is possible or impossible. So we're diving into the details. The next section of the chapter is just extraordinarily important as you prepare to become a practicing engineer. It has to do with equipment efficiencies. And so I'm going to try to help step you through what's the definition: turbine efficiency, compressor efficiency, pump efficiency, and finally nozzle efficiency. And so that will prepare you to start practicing as a practicing engineer out in the world, or certainly in graduate school as well, when you begin to do research. Applied research is going to involve a lot of these equipment efficiencies. So that is the roadmap for chapter 6. And I felt like looking ahead and letting you know that I think everybody will agree. So those of us that teach the class, those of us that have been through the class, and those of you who are going through the class, I think everybody will agree. Chapter 6 can be a challenge, and really want to encourage you to stick with it. Go to every class. That's going to help you get through, participate in your class, and that will help you clear up questions that you have along the way. In the next video, we'll start talking about the specifics about getting going in Chapter 6.